what does it take to have a much more natural sound the next time that you need to speak in American English? Well, today we're going to be looking at two audio files that were sent to us. So that way we can review them and give some tips for how to sound more natural in American English. And I have a little suspicion that whatever we talk about today may also be something that could be helpful also for you. So let's find out. Good morning, guys. Good evening. Good afternoon. Welcome to the Schwa Mill. This is your American English pronunciation review show where, again, people can send us files. We have a special free Telegram group just for that so people can send in files for us to consider and also some questions. And we talk about them. We give some feedback with the aim being how can we make these things sound more natural in American English. And to guide you in this process, there is me. Hi, my name is Geoff. It runs a breath. That's one of the 4 keys to a natural sound in American English, including placement, pitch, breath. Trying to weaken your consonant sounds in order to give more space and more strength to your vowel sounds. And again, we have 2 more files to take a look at today. I do want to thank everyone who sent us files because obviously it's hard to do a review show if we have nothing to review. And also want to thank you for hanging out with us. I hope you find the next few minutes where we talk about these things helpful. Let's take a listen to our very first file for the day.
How does a rainy day look and feel for you?
Okay, let's play this again.
How does a rainy day look and feel for you?
Okay, so I'll be honest. When I first heard this audio file, I got a little bit stuck after rainy day. And I could understand the for you at the end, but the things happening in the middle, I was getting a little bit lost at.
How does a rainy day look and feel for you?
And I think the reason for this is we mentioned a lot elements of contrast. Contrast, if you're not sure what contrast is, what are some things that we can think about? Let's think about something that's high contrast. High contrast would be, for instance, like right here where my name is, you can see there's a black background in white text. Or the opposite, like when you read a book, what colors are a book? A page of a book is usually a white page and then black text, right? Why is it like that? It's like that because it increases legibility. It makes it easier to see. It makes it easier to notice the difference. When we have high contrast, that allows us to identify parts and separate parts more easily. And when I'm listening to this file, I'm having a hard time hearing contrast right around that middle section.
How does a rainy day look and feel for you?
And the reason for that is because the pitches are relatively similar. The speed is relatively similar. The firmness, everything is said with about the same amount of strength, is relatively similar. The volume is similar. So there's all these things that, we're just kind of repeating the same thing that we did in earlier parts. And that, from a listener's perspective in American English, is really hard. Because in American English, remember, we're stress timed. We have a lot of breath moving through. We have pretty weak consonant sounds. So for all these reasons, things can become hard to understand if we don't have elements of contrast. So one of the things that I did was I played around with this to add some contrast. I took the second half and I slowed down the speed. And when you slow down an audio file, you slow down the wavelengths. And when you slow down the wavelengths, you get a lower sound. So we're able to get some contrast with speed, and we're also able to get some contrast with pitch. Let's hear the original and then the edit. So this is the original.
How does a rainy day look and feel for you?
This is the edit.
How does a rainy day look and feel for you?
Okay, so you can hear that kind of dramatic shift. And obviously, if you spend more time out, you could smooth it out. But that started to make things a little bit easier to understand. So how does a rainy day look and feel for you? So now I could understand it a bit better. I want to thank our Schwa Mill group member for putting in the text to guide us as well. So my biggest comment for this file is going to be contrast. We need more contrast because right now, this current version,
How does a rainy day look and feel for you?
it's just a little bit too much of the same things happening throughout the entire file. A common thing I say is find the pattern, break the pattern. Find what you're doing one part of your sentence, make sure your next part of your sentence changes in some way. Another thing we talk about too, when you change a thought group, change your pitch. Change a thought group, change your pitch. We have 2 thought groups here.
How does a rainy day look and feel for you?
It's like, how does a rainy day look and feel for you? So those are your two parts there. So what I did was I took that look and feel for you thought group. I made it
How
lower.
does a rainy day look and feel for you?
Okay. Um, things like that. Things like when you have a stressed word. So she's stressing the word uh, feel. Um, right before a stress, what we do? We take an extra step down in pitch. So it's not look and feel. It's look and feel. Look and feel. So right before a stress, I did right there. Right before a stress, right before a stress, make sure you're taking the pitch down low enough. Um, just just little cues like this are just really helpful from a listener's experience. Now we did have a question as well. Fortunately, I didn't pull it up. The question was related to when we speak in a low voice, what can we do to avoid sounding hoarse? I see some students they get into like vocal fry territory, kind of like what I'm doing now. Um, all these things that aren't quite giving you the most natural sound. So the first thing is that if you start feeling that popping, crackling sound like this, if you start talking like this, talk a little bit louder. So that's the very first tip. If you raise your volume a little bit, that can take it away. The other thing that may be helpful with that is adjusting your placement a bit. So if you're talking like this, maybe go a little lower. It's like lower the placement, or maybe go a little higher. So if you're talking, and now I'm going to just raise it, and now I'm going to lower it, and then I'm going to raise it. So it could be that you need to actually raise the placement a little bit. The last little tip I can give for now, without actually having you to work with individually, is to increase the amount of diaphragm and breath in diaphragm engagement so we can get more breath. If you're not familiar, your diaphragm is an organ. It's a little bit hard to see my hand. It's below your chest. So if your chest is here, your stomach is lower than that. Your diaphragm's kind of right there, right below your chest. The more you're able to engage your diaphragm, you get that resonance, kind of bassy, just like, do you hear how I talk? So, it may be helpful to try to practice drills doing like, da, 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 just to kind of feel what it feels like to have your diaphragm engaging. Okay. If you go to youtube.com/fluent American, basically the homepage on the channel, towards the bottom of the homepage, there are exercises related to breath. If you do those, you're going to end up with about 10 to 15 exercises you can do to engage the diaphragm and push air flow through. So if you're having a hard time using your diaphragm, or if you're having a hard time adding breath to your speech, because American English needs a lot of it, or if you're having a hard time just with trying to get resonance to your voice, those exercises are there to help you out. So I encourage you to check those out. But thank you so much for sending in that audio file. Obviously, can't do this without you. Let's jump on to our second clip for today.
I'm a trial scientist, a kind of legal expert.
Okay, I'll play this again.
I'm a trial scientist, a kind of legal expert.
Okay, and I believe this was taken from Shadowing. Thank you for sending us this file. The first thing that's going to jump out to us is that this is all very, very firm, right? Super strong voice here.
I'm a trial scientist, a kind of legal expert.
And because of that, so there's not a whole lot of breath coming through because everything's relatively tight. Like, I'm a trial scientist, a kind of legal expert. Okay, so we're never able to really flow, right? We're kind of stopping ourselves every second or third word.
I'm a trial scientist, a kind of legal expert.
Okay. I'm a trial scientist, a kind of legal expert. So, like, just everything is really disjointed. Now, that could be just based on the model that we're shadowing. I haven't heard the original audio, so I can't say with any certainty. But that certainly could be the thing. The big thing I would be trying to experiment with here is breath, because it feels very tight and firm, and adding more breath can really soften some things. So maybe starting off, and this kind of ties into our last question that we just answered too. So maybe just like start off breathing a little bit. So just a big breath in, big breath out. So it's you see all that air coming through, and that's basically how we want to talk in American English. All that breath coming through, just that. We want to continue that. We want that airflow coming. Let's maybe put a vowel in front of that. this clip starts with the I sound. So let's start off with an I sound ourselves. So we're going to breathe again, but vocalize with a slight I sound. So, do you see that like the vowel ended pretty soon, but the breath keeps going? Okay. Just because the vowel end or the sound ends doesn't mean that the breath ends. We want to keep that breath rolling. Let's do it one more time.
I'm a trial scientist.
So that I is really tight. So again, okay. Let's maybe try to do the exercise again. Just go down to scientist. Can you keep the breath flowing throughout that? I don't care if the original audio you're shadowing is really firm. Right now we're doing a different exercise. Okay, so let's just try to get all the breath going. So last breath, breathe in. I'm a trial scientist. Do you see all that breath? Are you able to get that amount of breath going? Do that again. I'm a trial scientist. To see how the breath keeps going. Okay. And then you can like speed it up and things like that. But the big thing is that can we just say this with more air because everything is just so tight.
I'm a trial scientist, a kind of legal expert.
Okay, especially here at the end of some words, like notice that the word like scientist, we just really close off. It gets super tight at the end of scientist on the tis part.
I'm a trial scientist, a kind of
scientist versus like scientist. You can almost like whisper the final syllable because it's reduced. And scientist, you're stressed on the first syllable. The other syllables are reduced, so we can get weaker on those. Scientist. I'm a trial scientist. I'm a trial scientist. Okay. But my big suggestion for this audio file is just breath. I would try to do those breath exercises we did a moment ago and try to carry them throughout. One final exercise you could do is try to say this whole audio file just whispering.
I'm a trial scientist, a kind of legal expert.
I'm a trial scientist, a kind of legal expert. See how much air you're able to get through. And obviously in real life, we're not going to, talk whispering. But are we even able to do that? And just practice saying it whispering. Because there's a lot of lessons we can learn from that. Okay, so this is how I talk. Then you can try going slightly firmer, and then you can try going slightly firmer, and then you can try going slightly firmer. So for instance, like, I'm a trial scientist. 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 See that kind of just those gradients, that sort of progression from whispering to then going soft to then going firm. I would be practicing those sorts of things. All right. Thank you to everyone in our Schwa Mill pronunciation Telegram group for sending us audio files. Again, it's completely free. If that sounds like something you're interested in, then I encourage you to check out the video description. One final thing I will say is that if you've been checking out the thing on the bottom, or if you on the YouTube channel, you see that join button, you may be wondering why is it worth considering joining? Yeah, that's a great question. That allows you to become a YouTube channel member, and our YouTube channel members basically get to watch our daily group coaching classes. We have group coaching classes for several hours, Monday through Friday, and the channel members get to watch them, and they also get to interact with us live. So if you're watching live with us, you can ask us questions, give us topics to talk about during the stream and things like that. So if you would like to watch, 1.5 to 2 hours of our group coaching programs Monday through Friday, except for Thursday. Thursday we have an off day. That is what channel members are able to get, and it could be a great opportunity for you. Hello to Harrier Panels. Hey Geoff, you sound like you're spelling the secrets to English pranayama. I am not familiar with that word. Thank you for bringing me onto that. Just vibing with that chill talk. That's what we try to do. This is your American English ASMR. That's all we're trying to do. All right, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. Look, there's a lot of pronunciation resources out there, so the fact that you spent some time here with me, as always, is greatly appreciated. Once more, my name is Geoff. It rhymes with breath. That's one of the 4 keys to a natural sound in American English, including placement, pitch, breath. Trying to weaken your consonant sounds, strengthen your vowel sounds. I will see you all later. Hope you guys have a good day, have a good night, and a good afternoon. Take care.